Hello, welcome back to another video. A few weeks ago on Instagram I promised everyone like a little catch-up update video with like some girl talk, girl questions answered in it, some advice, a little bit of an agony aunt vibe. So that is what today's video is going to be. I'm not going to be that really annoying jarring bitch that like keeps all the like fucking life update shit for the end to make everyone watch and all that sort of. I'm just going to get that bit over and done with. And I honestly find this whole thing a little bit awkward because I'm not fucking Beyonce, do you know what I mean? I am not Beyonce. I am not Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter. However, I've always dealt with sharing information with you guys on a need to know basis, and what I mean by that is if it's something that I know I'm going to get questions about, I will share information on that thing. So for example, I shared a lot about in my relationship my partner moving to another country because I knew from my vlogs it's going to be obvious I've moved back home, from my Instagram stories it's going to be obvious I've moved back home, and also of course there is an element that I share somewhat of my life with you guys. Not that anyone really gives a fuck enough, but like I like sharing things with you guys, not, you know, oversharing, but I like sharing. And if it's something where I know I'm going to get questions on it, I personally would rather just be upfront and honest about said thing. There's a lot of things that I haven't shared over the past few years. There's just a lot of shit that I don't share in general because it's not appropriate, and I'm a proper nosy bitch. Like when I follow someone, if they break up, I want to know why. I would never demand to know why or start asking them, because to me that's really overstepping, and I know that realistically no one owes any of us shit, but like, do I get nosy? 100%. So I don't want me saying what I'm about to say to come across as though like if you are nosy about it you're a terrible person. I don't think that at all. We're all a little bit nosy, but sharing information on a sort of need to know basis. And a breakup for me is something where I would just rather, I'm saying rip the band-aid off, but it has actually been a little while now. Like it's not like very recently. Obviously it's recent, but it's not that recent. I have held off on this video until personally I feel ready to talk about it. I am now single. Me and my boyfriend did break up. Our relationship was never like a core pillar of my content. I never centered a lot of my content around my relationship. It's just not a good idea in my opinion, for the exact reason that like breakups do happen, and personally I would feel obliged to share a lot more about what happened, why we broke up, if I'd plastered the ins and the outs of our relationship online over the past few years, but I haven't done that. No one needs to know what happened or why. It's not going to help anyone to know what happened or why, and no one needs to know that information. I know that's a really fucking annoying thing to say. I am now single. I've been single for a little bit. It's a new chapter, and yeah, that's honestly all I have to share on it. Like, there are things that I can share that I have learned, lessons that I've learned. I like to use things that I go through in life to maybe like advise and help other people, but right now isn't the time for that. With Instagram, things are only up for 24 hours, and I'm not Beyonce. Like, I'm gonna say it again, I'm not releasing a fucking press statement on a breakup. It makes me want to die inside when people do that. Like, I'm not doing that. I find it incredibly strange and weird and cringe, if I'm going to be completely like transparent about it. So the only place I've spoken about it is Instagram stories. They expire, not everyone sees it. I spoke about it on Instagram again yesterday because I was getting more questions. Whereas with YouTube, I kind of want this video so that it's just like there permanently, and hopefully I don't get any more questions about it. On my last YouTube video, my Houston vlog, I did get someone asking for like, how's long distance going, and that's been a huge thing that I get asked about on Instagram when I'm doing Q&A boxes. And again, it's just sort of like, I don't want to get these questions anymore. Like, it's hard enough going through a breakup anyway. It's even harder when you're reminded of like, I feel like, I'm not responsible, but I feel like a lot of people felt like maybe they could relate to the whole long distance thing, and now you can't. But the weird thing is, a lot of people seem to be breaking up at the moment, and I've had so many messages from girls being like, oh my god, I'm in the exact same position, like, can totally relate, and we can all just help each other through this time. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's fucking shit. I'm sat here, full face of makeup on, my hair looks alright, and I'm not crying about it because I'm just not gonna come and cry online about it. Like, sorry, like, healing is private. I just want to say, if anyone is in same boat. Please don't take like me being able to post as normal as like things haven't bothered me. Like, I've been a fucking mess, okay? I've had some really shit days. I will say I am starting to feel better, so if you are in the same boat, I promise you will start to feel better. Like, it's not, you're not going to wake up feeling sick to your stomach every single morning thinking, oh my god, like what the fuck have I done? Like, you're not going to feel like that forever. It will pass. Things do ease. Get all those emotions out. I don't think it's healthy to bottle it up. If I feel like I need to cry, I'm gonna cry, and I genuinely feel like it does help. But yeah, if anyone is going through the same thing, if you've got any tips, please let the girlies know. But yeah, anyone going through the same thing, peace, love and solidarity. That's my big life update. It's not going to change too much about my content because I never revolved my content around my relationship anyway. Like I said, there's lots of things I haven't shared over the past few years, and yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Like I said, I'm sure there's things and lessons that I've learned that I will want to share in the future, but right now I just want to keep it private. Sorry, I feel like that was the most awkward introduction to a vlog ever, but I'm just trying to like be very careful with what I'm saying and stuff, so I hope I wasn't too awkward there. But that's my big life update. You guys have known me, if you've been here 5 years, I've been on YouTube 5 years now, you guys have known me when I was single, so you know it's nothing crazy. I don't think I have it in me to go through like a feral chapter. Right now I just want to focus on work. Maybe I'll spend a bit more time in America, who knows. Work, family, friends. Would love to get a dog, but if I wanted to get a dog I'd have to get a house, and I don't really feel like it's financially responsible to get a house just so I can get a dog. We will see what the future holds, I guess. It's a new chapter, new opportunities. Yeah, I guess one door closes, another one swings open with new opportunities. So yes, anyway, I did ask for questions on Instagram weeks ago and then asked for some more the other day, so I'm going to go through it now. It's going to be more of like a girl talk chatty video, a little bit of advice. There's some beauty questions and stuff in there as well, so some of them are going to be longer, some of them will be shorter, and we're just gonna have a good little chin wag, which I just love doing from time to time. Also, honestly, punch me in the face if I have to do another life updates video within the next 6 months, because I think my last one was within the last 2 months, and I'm going to be completely honest, am I slightly embarrassed about doing this video? Yes, for multiple reasons, one of which being, in my last video I was talking about my partner moving to Dubai, and a lot of the video was sort of talking about that, and yeah, now 2 months later I'm like, but we move, do you know what I mean? A question to start with, I feel like let's go through some quick questions. I want more information on fake tan. Which do you recommend and how do you apply it? I use Loving Tan. I either use the ultra dark one or I use the platinum one. It's not as smooth of an application. I find it goes patchier quicker and it dries my skin out more, but to get that same effect I sort of need 2 layers of the ultra dark. I didn't used to think the platinum was any darker, but I've realised that massively develops once you rinse it. For the next 24 hours that gets a lot darker, so yeah, that one is definitely a much darker tan. I do take back what I said on that, but I don't take back, it's a lot patchier, it's a lot drier, and it's just not as smooth. If I do ultra dark, usually I'll do 1 layer and like be cool with it, that's still like a really nice tan for me, or I'll do 1 layer and then 2 days later do another layer. That's my favourite fake tan. And how do I apply it? I just use a tanning mitt. I know that some people use gloves or brushes, but I've always used a tanning mitt, and I've never really had any major problems with using a tanning mitt, so that's what I use. How to stop comparing yourself to other girls, especially if you have tons of stunning friends. Relatable, because all my friends are gorgeous, but this is going to sound so cliche and it's literally straight from Pinterest, but it is so true. Just because someone else is beautiful, it doesn't take anything away from you, and people can be beautiful in very different ways. Some people are more uniquely beautiful and more like strikingly beautiful. Some people more like fit like the standard, if you will, and are beautiful in that way. Everyone has beauty in their appearance. I believe beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Everyone finds different things attractive, and I also think if your friends look very different to you, That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it also, just because they look so different and they're beautiful, it doesn't mean you can't be beautiful. Like, two things can be true at the same time. That classic thing of being like a sunset, the sun and the moon are both beautiful, but they look completely different. Like, it doesn't take away. Like, you can look at the moon and think, wow, that's stunning, and you can look at a sunset and think, wow, that's stunning. Neither of it takes away from each other. And I can guarantee you, especially because I've looked at your profile as well, your friends probably feel the same way about you. They probably feel like, oh my god, X name here, I won't name you, is so beautiful. Like, she looks nothing like me, I look nothing like her, she's so beautiful. They might feel the exact same way. We are all our own worst critics at the end of the day. And I feel like at the moment there's a very big pressure to look one specific way, and it's that sort of like social media baddie aesthetic way of being pretty, and it can make you feel like if you don't fit that specific look, you're not beautiful. That's not fucking true at all. Like, it's not true. And if you spend enough time in the real world, not online, you will realise there are so many different types of beautiful. Like, so many different types of beautiful. Okay, in a long-term non-toxic happy relationship, congratulations, well done, my friend. Smashing it. Sometimes I still think about this one guy, help. It's normal to look at other people and think they're fit. Like, you're not, when you get into a relationship, you don't go blind. You can still appreciate someone else being good looking or being hot or whatever, but you wouldn't feel that sort of draw to them to the point where like you want to start a relationship with them, or you want to talk to them, or you want it to go any further. You can just acknowledge, okay, that person is good looking. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't, it's very delusional to think you get into a relationship and you go blind and you can't see how good looking other people are anymore. Like, of course you can. Like, you can absolutely see. By the way, I do have a top on. I feel like it looks like I'm naked. I've just got a very like strappy top on, so don't mind me. Like, obviously if you're thinking about them non-stop, that's not normal, but if you just like are acknowledging, oh, I know this guy and he's good looking, like, that's normal. We all know good looking people. Even if your boyfriend looks like a fucking Greek god, you're still gonna know other people that are good looking. I'm not saying they're better looking than him, but you're still gonna know other good looking people. Like, that is life. I do think if you are thinking about this person in a very specific way and you're thinking about them all the time, the only thing I would say is put yourself in your boyfriend's shoes for a second. Like, if he was thinking about another girl constantly in that way, it's someone they know and he's thinking about her all the time, how would that make you feel? I just know that if I was with someone and they were feeling that way and like constantly thinking about someone else in that way, it would make me feel really shitty. And I do, honestly, it depends. You've not given like a shit ton of context, and it does say you're in a long-term non-toxic happy relationship, so that is obviously a really good sign. But if you are constantly thinking, it says sometimes, I don't know how often sometimes is, if you're constantly thinking about someone else, I don't think that's right, and it could be a sign that something's wrong. Again, please like think about all the little like caveats I've given. I don't think it's inherently like, it really is situational. It completely depends, and I don't have a lot of information. But I do also think it's important for people to realise that I think people think things need to be really bad, or something drastic needs to have happened, or like someone has to have cheated on you in order for you to end a relationship. That's not true. Like, it shouldn't have to get that bad just because it's a non-toxic relationship. If it's not right, it's not right. What matters the most is that you're happy. But you do say long-term non-toxic happy relationship, so it seems that you're happy. There's a big lack of context in this question, I'm not gonna lie, so I'm struggling to answer it, but the fact that you're in a long-term non-toxic happy relationship is a good thing. Okay, financial advice for girlies in their 20s. Start investing if you can. Sorry, I know that that's like it's so cliche and everyone says it, but like, if you're, okay, at the bare minimum, savings should be in a high yield savings account. Mine is Marcus by Goldman Sachs, but there's loads, and it's not like locked away or anything like that. It's just better than your average savings account in terms of interest rate. That's like the bare minimum. And then if you have money, again, you have to be careful with this because there is a risk. Even if someone says, oh my god, this like stock always goes up, or like it's got a really good track record, for all you know, the next 10 years could be the start of its bad track record. So never invest anything that you can't afford to lose. Capital is always at risk, like they always say on all of the investing websites, but I would recommend starting to invest as soon as you can. Even if it's only, I'm saying only, it's still like a good chunk of money, but even if you're investing like £50 a month, the sooner you start, the better. Like, I watched a whole equation, like compound interest is a very real thing, guys, and I watched a whole equation on how two people could start investing. One starts 10 years earlier, the second starts 10 years later, and they put, the person who starts later puts more in to sort of like try and get the same benefits as the person that started 10 years before, and they still don't get anywhere near as much back from it or return on investment because they've missed out on 10 years worth of compounding interest. So I would advise you to start as soon as possible trying to invest. I'm not a financial advisor. If anyone wants to know, I invest in a couple of things. One of those is the S&P 500. I've been doing it for a year. My return on investment currently is about 21%. Again, that could go up, that could go down, it could go into the minuses, so please keep that in mind. But I set up a direct debit so that I never see that money. It comes out of my account on the 1st every single month. I never see it, it goes straight there. I've seen pretty good returns on that so far, and my plan is to keep investing every single month for the foreseeable. I want to add more variety to it and all that good stuff, but start as soon as you can, and don't let the fact that you've not started yet make you think, oh, there's no point starting because I've missed out now. You haven't. Like what's that saying where it's like the best time to start was yesterday, the second best time to start is today, and it's so true. And also, don't let the fact that you can't put £500 a month in put you off. Check which accounts will allow you to put like a lower minimum in. Go for those accounts. Set it up in a stocks and shares ISA if you can. If you're eligible for one, you need to check like your current ISA situation if you've already got them. Set it up in a stocks and share ISA because you do also get tax benefits on there. You can max it out to 20k a year, up to 20k a year if you want to, and there are tax benefits. So that would be my main bit of advice. That's honestly my main advice, because in your 20s, you're younger, you've got more time. Start early, even if it's less than you think you should be investing. Just start, okay? Ooh, non-negotiables in life. I would say one of my non-negotiables in life right now is just happiness. Like, obviously you're always going to go through times where things aren't that happy, and you're going to have to sometimes make choices that, you know, the happiest choices in the world. But I have had rude awakenings about how short life can be this year, and I'm going to be completely honest, it's changed my life. It's scared the fucking shit out of me, and no one can afford to waste any time being unhappy, doing whatever. Like, you just can't afford to do that in life. Life can be too short. So I would just say doing what makes you happy. That doesn't mean being absolute cunt to people and just think, oh, well, it makes me happy, so I don't give a fuck. Obviously, look after the people around you, but ultimately, this is your life. If you want to travel, go travel. If you want to apply for a job, apply for a job. If you want to go and see a guy that you fancy, go and see a guy that you fancy. Like, do what makes you happy, because life is so fucking short. We all do it. We all assume that we have more time. You might not. I don't want to scare the shit out of anyone, but honestly, you could pass away at any moment, completely unexpectedly. That is the harsh reality of life. Make sure you're living a life that's true to you, that makes you happy. That's probably one of my non-negotiables in life at the moment. Just a girl just wants to be happy. Advice / confidence for starting out your Instagram / business with minimal engagement. Okay, so I don't know if you've heard of the whole like cringe mountain thing, but it's very much true. Everyone has to overcome cringe mountain if you want to have a successful business on social media with a big following, or a big personal brand on social media with a big following. I'm not going to say that you will always be able to get to that goal. There is an element of luck to it, and anyone that says that there isn't is talking out the fucking arse. All these people that sell these guides that say you're guaranteed to be the next Alex Earl, it's bullshit. There is a big element of luck to anything with social media, but You have to get over cringe mountain. If you've just started an Instagram page, you're not going to be getting good engagement. You don't have any followers. Sorry, I've just had to actually take a break because my camera overheated and I've changed the angle, and I've also put that aircon on, so I'm hoping that you can't hear that too much, but I want to be able to film this video without my camera burning up. So if you've just started an Instagram account, you're not going to be getting good engagement. You've just started your account, you've probably got no followers. There's no way around that. You can't just start an account and it just blows up overnight from one post. You are going to have to accept that there is going to be a time where you start posting and people aren't engaging. But if you don't post at all, then it's never going to happen. Like, there is no way of getting over that, which sounds really harsh, but I feel like that's the advice that you need. Like, there is no way you can avoid having bad engagement at the start of a page. Like, it's going to happen. If anything, actually, within like a few months time, you'll probably have the best engagement you'll ever have, because that's before spam followers come in. So like, your follower to engagement ratio is going to be so much better. Like, the big problems come when you're like 5 years in and you've got all these followers who followed ages ago but don't give a fuck anymore, so they still follow you but they don't like any of your posts, and it fucks up your engagement. So you've actually got a very unique opportunity here, even if it doesn't feel like it. You have to overcome cringe mountain to excel when it comes to social media. Yeah, it feels really dumb and really stupid posting to no one, or posting and putting all this effort into content and it's not returning like sick engagement, but you have to go through this phase in order to excel. Like, trust me, you have to. Oh my god, when I first started posting workouts on Instagram, they used to do so bad. All my selfies would get good engagement, but as soon as I started posting actual like more helpful stuff, those were my worst performing posts. There is no way to avoid having bad engagement. Like, you have to just go through that phase, and if you can push through it, hopefully you can build up a bit of a following. But that would be my best advice. It's unavoidable. Like, you can't avoid it. Don't waste your money on these like guru packs that are going to promise you 50k followers. Not going to happen. Like, yes, there is a strategy to an extent, but ultimately the algorithm either picks up your shit or it doesn't. Are there things that you can do that might increase the chances of that happening? Yeah, but there's plenty of people who've been posting on Instagram for ages, or they post really good content on here or TikTok, and the algorithm just doesn't pick it up. It's stuff that it easily could, but it just doesn't, and that's the harsh reality of social media. But you'll never know if you don't try. Give it a good fucking go, my love. And I'll follow it. If you want me to follow your business page, leave it below. I will follow it. I'll give you some engagement. I'll be up in your likes. I'll turn your post notifications on. Someone else just said, so many people I know have gone through breakups this year, myself included, after years together. Wild. This year is probably the year where a lot of people who had COVID relationships are getting to the point where, I don't want to say the itch, but like, you get into that point in your relationship where it's sort of like, okay, we're either like really doing this or we're going our separate ways. And also getting to the point where you tend to start having more issues. I genuinely think that's a lot to do with it. But I'm here for anyone who needs to talk. You can always DM me on Instagram if anyone wants to comment below. Like, honestly, we are all going through the same thing. You are not on your own. I got a question on Instagram yesterday asking me like how I'm dealing so well with it, and like I just seem fine. I choose what I share on social media, as does everyone else. And I'm sure that you know, someone going through a breakup right now, you're probably not posting all the times you're crying on Instagram, or posting how heartbroken you are all the time. I don't know, you might be, but you're probably not. You're posting the nights out with your girls, you're posting the selfies, you're posting yourself looking cute, you're posting your little glow up stuff. You're not posting the sad stuff. Like, a lot of us don't do that. It doesn't mean it's not happening. You're not on your own. My DMs are always open. There's so many of us in the same boat. I might even, like, if people think it would be a good idea, I might even make like a tab in my Discord, or maybe start it on Instagram broadcast channels, like not like a breakup group, but a group for people who have recently gone through heartbreak, where people can talk, people can give advice, and it can just be solely about that. I'm more than happy to do it, because honestly, most of my relationships, most of my friends are either single and have been for years, or they're in long-term relationships. So truly, not everyone can relate, and they've been supportive as fuck, don't get me wrong. Like, I can't fault them to a, like, they have been fucking angelic. Like, you guys, my friends, my family, it's felt like a warm blanket of humans being wrapped around me. Like, I couldn't ask for better people around me. Can they necessarily relate in real time to what I'm going through? No, and I've found a lot of comfort in having conversations with you guys on Instagram through DMs. I would love for you guys to be able to get that same level of comfort, so let me know if that's something that you're interested in, and I'm 100% down to facilitate that. Like question, where do you get your jewellery from / what are some of your favourite pieces? So a lot of my jewellery is from hand-me-downs. So for example, this ring here, the lighting's gonna really blow it out, but I have a diamond and ruby ring set in white gold. This was my dad's mum's ring, that's a hand-me-down. This ring here is meant to be a wedding band. Lol. My mum got 2 wedding bands made this year, melted down from my granny's gold, her mum's gold. She got 2 wedding bands made, one for my sister because obviously she recently got married, yay, we love that for her, and one for me for eventually, but I've just been wearing it anyway. It's just a solid gold ring. It is a higher carat though, which means it's really scratched up. I need to get it like buffed and cleaned because it's like really scratched. But yeah, a lot of like hand-me-downs. Or one of the best pieces of advice I can give to you in terms of jewellery is don't go to these like big brand jewellery shops. They're full of fucking shit. Like, I like some, to be honest, not really. I go to like Astrogen Miu, Monica Vinader. Those are really good options for like your sort of mid-range stuff where you're not getting completely overcharged. It's a little bit overpriced, but they do some solid gold, some of it's plated. That's like all good stuff, and I do like going there, but I don't really go to like Tiffany or like Cartier or anything like that. Go to your local jewellers that are like on the corner of streets in your city centre. Go to local places, you know, they're not home known worldwide names, they're just local places. They will have the best value for money. You will be able to get solid gold pieces for a couple £100, which if you go into Cartier or Dior, or well, if you go into Dior, you're not even getting solid gold, you're literally getting plated for thousands of pounds, which is a rip-off. Please, like, just get, at that point, just get an AliExpress dupe of it, because what the fuck even is that? It's so expensive. But like with Cartier, yeah, it's real gold, but it's also very overpriced for what it is. And you didn't hear it from me, but if you do want to get a copy made, it's very common for people to go to local jewelers and they will rip off Cartier, and they will actually do it using higher quality gold, and you pay less for it. You will have more weight in gold but have paid less for it. Your local jewelers will be your best friends in terms of getting real jewelry for a good price. My tennis bracelet is from Cherish Jewelry, and again, that's sort of like a local jeweler, but she sells online. These rings here are from Anthropology, so these are just plated. They were super cheap in the grand scheme of things. I think I paid about 40 quid for both. So I've got this little squiggly one and then this like multicolored gem one, and I just stack them like that. And then this one is a panther ring, which I got in Lucca when I was away on holiday with my family. It's just a little panther eating a diamond ring, which I love. And again, solid gold, a lot cheaper than it would have been if I'd have bought it on the Ponte Vecchio. I saw some amazing jewellery on there, but that would have been so expensive. They had a whole panther range. If anyone knows what that shop is called on the Ponte Vecchio that does like the snakes, the panther rings, the really like cool sparkly but edgy looking pieces, please let me know. It was like right at the end on the left hand side. I've tried to Google map it, I can't find it. I would love to know what that shop is called, because honestly I would love to save up and buy a piece from there. I know it'll be expensive, but again, it's from there, so it's, you know, these are some of my favourite pieces at the moment, so that kills 2 birds with 1 stone. I put them on specially for this video. Thoughts on contraception, hormones, being naturally balanced, etc. This is something that I've always said I feel like people massively overstep with online, personally. Feel like people think because contraception didn't work out for them, no one should be on it. I don't agree with that. People go on contraception for multiple reasons. Some people it's for their periods, some people it's for skin, some people it's because they're trying to stop having a baby for its actual intended purpose. Who would have thought? But everyone has different reasons. I personally I'm not on any contraception. I had a really bad experience with it. I was put on the pill when I was 14 because I had such severe period pains that I was getting called in and asked why I was having 2 days off school every month. And it was a guy, and I was just like, I've got really bad periods. And he was just like, okay. Anyway, I got put on the pill when I was 14, tried multiple different pills, tried the injection, tried everything, tried the one hormone one, the other hormone one. I tried it all. Like I exhausted my options in terms of pills and the injection, and I personally came to the conclusion that I didn't want to be on anything anymore. Hormonally, it really fucked me up. It heightened my anxiety so much. I definitely did struggle with like heavy bouts of depression, and just to be honest, being very fucking mentally unwell and unstable when I was on contraception. Don't even recognize some of like how I was around those ages, which I mean, I was a lot younger. Like I came off it all when I was 19-ish. I'm 25 now, but honestly, I think a lot of things where I think, girl, what the fuck, it was the contraception. Like, it just heightened everything for me and it didn't work out. So I'm not on anything, but I do think there's something to be said, however, and this is not me advising people, but it really pisses me off the lack of importance put on female health, like female specific health, because if this affected men as well, they'd be doing a lot more about like getting to the root cause of things, not just slapping a fucking pill on it. Because I, since coming off contraception, have had really bad periods to the point where I've actually been in hospital twice. I've had all the scans in the world, ultrasounds, external, internal, and in the end I went for like swabs, I went for everything, and then in the end the only thing that came back was my blood tests. That was a thing that showed something up. I had a high, like quite abnormally high level of something in my blood, which the doctor, and again I had to go private for that, like I wasn't able to get any of that on the NHS. I mean, I probably could have done, but it was taking way too long, and I was getting to a point where I was really sick every single month. And when those blood test results came back, she basically told me that my inflammatory something marker levels were in line with what she would expect to see from someone with endometriosis. It was made very clear to me, as you will know if you are well versed on this subject, the only way to like 100% diagnose it currently is through laparoscopic surgery, which I've still not done. I still have really bad periods now. I take very strong pain medication for them, and that's how I'm coping with it at the moment. I've not gone in for that yet. I really don't want, I'm basically kind of trying to wait to see if there's another way, and I know that they are working on it, but I know when I was put on that pill at 14, people weren't interested at getting at the root of the cause of the issue. Like, I grew up thinking my level of pain was normal. I also grew up thinking that I was just a wuss because all my friends were like, my period pains, I don't find period pains that bad. I didn't realise everyone's pains are going to be different, and mine have always been very severe. I've thrown up from them before, they've made me feel really faint before, I've been in hospital with them before. I get really bad period pains, and I grew up thinking it's normal, but also that I'm a wuss and I just can't handle it. No, I just have a much more severe experience when it comes to periods than my friends did. And instead of getting to the root cause of that at 14, they set me off on 5 years worth of contraception, which I didn't really need to be on, to be honest. Like, yeah, maybe it prevented me getting pregnant, but also there's other ways to prevent getting pregnant. And I fucking hate how people think the onus should always be on the woman when it comes to stuff like this. Like, it takes two to fucking tango. When I was in hospital once with my stomach pains, I vividly remember the GP, he was a guy, he said to me, going for all the questions, is there any chance you could be pregnant? No. Are you on hormonal contraception? No. Are you trying to get pregnant? No. And then he just sort of looked at me like, well, if you're not trying to get pregnant, why aren't you on hormonal contraception? As if to say, like, that's really fucking dumb, or, well, that's the only way, like, that's what you should be doing. And it really pissed me off because I just thought there are other ways, and also it's not always on the woman. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, we know that there's risks. I remember getting my leaflet with my pill, blood clots, all that sort of stuff. Like, people can have major health complications from contraception. It shouldn't be taken lightly by any means. But I'm not on the side of people that are like, all contraception is bad and no one should be on it and all that sort of stuff. Like, everyone's situation is different. It didn't work out for me, and if it didn't work out for you either, you're not on your own. If you're also really pissed off with the healthcare service and the way that they treat women, you're not on your own. But yeah, that is basically my thoughts on contraception and all that good stuff. Living with my boyfriend, how do I explain living together doesn't mean it's quality time or hanging out? Maybe just give him a nudge in the right direction. Why don't you start by being like, babe, this weekend, why don't we, there's this restaurant that I really want to try, like, can we go? There's this film I really want to see at the cinema. There's this hiking trail or this walk that I really want to do. There's something that I'm really interested in at the shops, like, do you want to come with me? We can make a day out of it. Nudge him in that way. You should be able to communicate openly about these things. It's very easy, and obviously I do actually have the experience of living with someone now. It's very easy when you move in with someone to conflate spending time with someone to quality time, and it's not the same thing. Like, it's absolutely not the same thing. It's important to be doing both, but sometimes people fall into those habits without even realizing that they're doing it. So that's how I would deal with it. It doesn't need to be a big argument. You can just like nudge him in the right direction, and then, you know, if you keep nudging and he's like saying he doesn't want to, or, you know, saying, oh, we're together all the time anyway, why does it matter? You can explain the difference between spending time together and quality time, and come at it from an angle of how it's making you feel. Don't say you doing XYZ is making me feel XYZ. Just say, I feel this way because I don't feel like we get enough quality time together. Frame it as like, you can frame it in the nicest way. You can be like, I love spending time with you like I used to love before we lived together, and we do XYZ, like I'd love to do that again. It doesn't need to be framed in a nasty way. That's how I would personally come at it. But yeah, it's something very normal. I also feel like that's why a lot of people struggle when they move in with their partner, and that's why a lot of people end up breaking up, and that's why people say moving in is a big test, because it's finding that sort of balance. But I agree, like, living together is not the same as quality time. Someone else has said how to be single after a long-term relationship. Have no clue what to do. Me neither, girl, and I'm the exact same. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. I mean, I'm just living life at the moment. I'm just focusing on work, gym, fitness. I've not really delved into that side of things yet, so when I do, I'll be sure to let you know. But right now, I'm not delving into that side of things. In case she is asking in a way of like how to be single, as in like how to like speak to men, I don't fucking know. Like, girl, me neither. I have no idea. But in terms of like how to be single after a long-term relationship and just like feeling lost and not knowing what to do, use the time that you would have been spending with your boyfriend, with your partner, to spend time with your friends. Like, you will have so much more time on your plate now for friends, for family, for activities, for hobbies, for picking up new hobbies, for learning new things, for maybe starting a side hustle. I don't know your life, I don't know what you want to do, but you have a lot more time. You can also just go and do whatever the fuck you want. Like, you don't have to ask anyone. You can be as selfish as possible. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to do any of that now, so utilize it. Just go and do what you want. Center your life around you, center your life around your friends, focus on the other relationships in your life, because trust me, there is a lot more to life, and equally important relationships in life that aren't romantic. Like, your relationships with your friends are important, your relationship with your family is important, your relationship with yourself is important. Put that time back into you, put it into your other relationships. You have so much time, use it, because when the next person comes along and you're madly in love again and you're giving them all your time again, you won't have the same amount of time for your friends still. Like, numerically, you're gonna have to split that time up again. So I'm not saying you get into a relationship and don't see your friends, but like, if there's a new person in your life, numerically that time is now split between more people, which means you'll get less time with them. So enjoy this bit of time where you don't have anyone else to really be seeing or thinking about. Spend as much time as possible with other people, as much time as possible on your own. Use it to like learn about things that you like. Maybe you felt like you lost yourself a little bit. You've got so much time to yourself. Use it, utilize it. Someone else along the same lines has said how to deal with heartbreak for the first time, because this is truly eating me alive. You're not gonna want to hear this now, but like, the best piece of breakup advice I've ever heard And my favourite piece of breakup advice ever is, yes, one door has just closed and it's sad and it's shit and it sucks. Feel what you've got to feel, cry it out, get your emotions out, get everything out, speak to people, get angry, get sad, get pissed off, get it all out. But then realise that yes, one door has closed, but another one has just swung wide open. Like, everything you put into that relationship, for whatever reason, the relationship wasn't right, that person wasn't right for you, you weren't right for them. Either way, it's not right. If someone isn't right for someone in a relationship, then it's not the right relationship for either of them, because you want to be with someone where you're both right for each other. But another door has just swung wide open, and you won't be there yet because the first heartbreak is still eating you alive, but eventually you will find someone who is much more right. Like, this is just closing a chapter of your life and making way for new things, new experiences, single experiences, more time with your friends, like I've just said with the last question, more time with your family, and eventually making room for whoever it is that you are meant to be with, if that's what you believe, and if you believe that there's someone that you are meant to be with. It's making space for that. It's shit that one door has closed, but another one has just opened. There's a lot of fucking shit things about breakups and being heartbroken, and it fucking sucks, but there's also, like I've just said with the previous question, basically apply all that to like this new door that's just opened. There's a lot of opportunity here. Make the most of it. You won't always have this much time for yourself, your friends, to do what you want. You won't always be able to be this selfish and just sort of go visit a country if you want to go on your own. Do what you want. Date loads of guys. I don't know. Do whatever you want to do, I don't know. But you won't be able to do that forever. There'll come a time where you're booed up again and you won't have as much time for your friends. You won't have as much time for your family. All of a sudden, travelling on your own, you can still do it, but obviously you need to actually consider someone else. You need to consider where do they want to go on holiday, which isn't a bad thing, but you are not going to have this time forever. So make the most of it. It's really shit. Get it all out, but then view it like that. Get all that emotion out. It's healthy. Talk to people, surround yourself with people, spend time with friends, family, but then that's the outlook you should be having on it. Okay, sending lots of love. I know it's fucking shit, but I promise you will get through this, and you will get through much worse in life. I promise you that. Someone else has said dating right now is just cry face emoji. Every guy I meet, I feel like they just want me for my body. I do feel like, not from personal experience obviously, but just from speaking to friends that have been single for a while and all that sort of stuff, dating honestly seems scary now. A very like different energy to the last time I was single, where I feel like if someone was really interested in you, they'd sort of pursue you. Yeah, you had the odd dickhead who wanted to like play games and play around with stuff, but now it feels like, from what I've heard from friends, everyone just wants to fuck around. Everyone just wants to play games. And it sounds scary, I'm not gonna lie. So thank you for putting that in my question box for my girl talk, where I'm talking about now the fact that I'm single, because maybe I'll just never date again. Maybe I'll just be on my own. I speak to you really frequently. You are a really lovely girl, like a really lovely girl. Yeah, you're hot as fuck. Your body's amazing. Your face is stunning. You are just a beautiful person, but you are a beautiful person inside as well, and you deserve someone that's going to see you for all that you are, not just your body. Don't give in to these fuck boys, and yeah, you're a beautiful person inside and out. Oh, someone said, what's the best undies to wear under leggings / shorts? I can never find anything comfortable. I personally wear organic basics cotton underwear, because I'm just ever since I went to Turkey and I learned more about sort of the health stuff down there, I now pretty much exclusively wear cotton underwear. The only annoying thing is you can see lines and stuff, so it's probably not the best answer to your question. You can do seamless underwear. Seamless underwear is probably your best bet, but for me personally, I don't like to wear it that often anymore. I still do from time to time, and I wear the Alpha Elite ones, but I don't really like it. It doesn't stay in place well. Seamless underwear rolls really badly, and also, yes, it's a cotton gusset, but your underwear, mine does anyway, moves around significantly throughout the day. It can twist, it can move back and forth, and eventually you do end up with like those nylon blends and stuff rubbing up against you, and it's just not good for the health of things down there. So personally, I get my stuff from Organic Basics. I get the cotton thongs from there. Someone said knowing when to give the cookie up when you start seeing someone new. I've never understood this thing of like, oh, you know, you've got to make them wait X amount of time. Like, if someone just wants to shag you, it doesn't matter whether you make them wait 4 dates, whether you do it on the first date. The outcome is going to be the same. They will eventually ghost you after you've done it. You're just prolonging them doing that, which might be nice because you might get to spend more time with them. But if someone has those sorts of intentions, first of all, that's not the sort of person that you want to be spending time with. So it's not something that you should be thinking about too much, in my opinion. I don't really have strong opinions on when you should and when you shouldn't. But yeah, I wouldn't like overthink it too much and worry about that, because if someone's going to do it, they're going to do it anyway. Make sure you're going for like kind people that aren't only out for one thing, because if someone's going to do that, and I have a lot of guy friends who I've had this conversation with them in the past, like years ago when I was single last time, they all say the same thing. Like if guys have that intention, they're going to, like, if anything, they'll just see it as more of a conquest, but the outcome is still going to be the same. So I wouldn't deep it too much. Whenever you feel ready, whenever you feel comfortable, make sure it's an enjoyable experience for you too, because it's something happening between two people, okay? It needs to be enjoyable for both. So don't just let them, you know, I won't get too into it. I don't want to be too crude in this video, but okay, we'll do a friendship one. Struggling with friends, current group not great, and I'm very introvert, so new is not easy. Totally understand, because I'm the exact same. I'm also super shy, and I really struggle in social settings in like a new group, so I can really struggle to make new friends. So I totally relate and sympathise. I honestly feel online groups are really good for this, or hobbies. So let's say you like the gym. You could meet friends at the gym, strike up conversations with people at the gym. Having something in common is always really helpful. If you have like a sport you want to try, maybe you want to try Pilates, maybe you want to try hot yoga, maybe you want to try tennis, maybe you want to try pickleball. Picking up those sports can also be another good way to make friends, because then again, you've got something in common and you can make friends with people through that. Plus, it sort of evades you having to like just go up to someone in the middle of nowhere and try and strike up a conversation, which is really difficult to do. Not many people could do that, introverted or not. I would recommend starting some new hobbies, or utilising the hobbies that you do have and trying to make friends through that. There's a lot of Facebook groups now for like gym girls in particular. I know Sydney from Gymshark has got one. I think that one's called the Gym Girls Locker Room. There's another one that I'm in, I can't remember what it's called. There's a lot of Facebook groups basically. I have a Discord, which you're always more than welcome to join. There's people from all over the world in there, and people can make friends through there. We've had people fly literally like internationally to go and visit people through there. Book clubs, if you like reading, reading's really popular at the moment. A lot of people are making book clubs. That's another way to meet people. Joining people's Patreons community. If you like a certain podcast and they do a Patreon, sometimes there's communities there where you can make friends through that. The new friends that I have made have come through social media. They've come through my Discord group. I'm actually really good friends with some of the girls from my Discord group now. Like, we've met in person. It's amazing. But with those online relationships, always take them offline eventually. Like, go and meet up in person. That's when you'll really form like strong bonds with people. Sorry, my camera keeps cutting out because it's overheating and getting too hot, so I'm gonna have to wrap this video up soon. But the point I was making there was, I think we live in a very lonely society and it's quite hard to make new friends. Like, a lot of people are online. Like, a lot of people really struggle to speak to each other in person as well, which I've definitely noticed, especially recently. Like, people are very comfortable to like speak on social media, or very comfortable to engage with you on social media, but then in person they really struggle to strike up a conversation. People are getting more and more socially awkward, and I'm socially awkward, so if everyone else is getting socially awkward, that's a big fucking problem, because it means I will just never speak to anyone new ever. So you're not on your own with it, but those would be my recommendations. And it is possible to make new friends, trust me. I always thought I would struggle to make new friends. I work on my own, I work by myself, other than Aisha, who we are actually friends now. I've just booked in a hot date with her. You know, I always thought for these reasons I would struggle, and I have struggled, but I've also made a really good group of friends as well through social media and taking that sort of offline and in person. So how to approach a gym crush? No idea. You're asking the wrong girl, I fear. It's an awkward one because a lot of people don't want to be approached in the gym. like a lot of people don't want to talk in the gym. They're there to work out, they don't want to talk, and people can look quite scary in the gym as well. I look scary in the gym, in my opinion. I look really miserable because I'm just so zoned in on stuff, and guys in particular can look really fucking scary in the gym. Like, whoa. Like, I've never actually approached anyone in the gym before, so take what I'm about to say with a pinch of salt, but I have personally been approached. People usually will either ask you about what you're doing. If you've set something up a certain way, they'll ask you to show them how to set it up, and then they usually develop the conversation from there, trying to give you tips and then again developing it from there. I wouldn't do that. I find that really patronizing, so I wouldn't recommend you do that. But asking someone about what they're doing and like if they could show you how to do it, or ask someone if they're using a piece of equipment and then try and strike up like a bit more of a conversation from that. Obviously, like if they're at one end of the gym, don't ask them, are they using the fucking leg press at the other end of the gym? Because it's very obvious what you're doing there, okay? It's very fucking obvious, Brian. Like, obviously, I'm at the other end of the gym. I'm not using the fucking leg press, okay? Don't do it strategically, please, because otherwise you will look crazy. Please report back on if that works or not, but that's how most people tend to do it, in my experience, just from being approached. Not being the approach, being the approachee. That's how most people tend to do it. Another question that's been asked, and I also got asked this on Instagram yesterday, was about boyfriends liking other girls' pictures and people being upset about it. Honestly, I feel like when people ask me this question, they just want me to validate their feelings. Your feelings are already valid without me telling you it's okay to be upset about that stuff. Some people don't give a fuck if their boyfriend likes random women's posts on Instagram. Some people do. No, neither is right or wrong, neither is like morally superior, neither is morally more mature or anything like that, neither is childish. It just depends on what you're comfortable with, and it also depends on your relationship, conversations you've had, the boundaries you've set. Now obviously, if these girls are his friends or his family members, don't be a psychopath. Like, you can't tell someone that they can't be friends with people anymore. That's not healthy. You can't tell someone that they have to cut off all their female friends and never like their posts again. You can't tell someone that they can't like the mum's Facebook post, okay? Like, we have to draw the line somewhere. Don't be a psychopath. But if it's random women or women that he's slept with before and for whatever reason, whatever weird fucking reason, he's still following them on social media despite the fact that you guys are in a relationship, I feel like I'm letting my biases show. Let me shut the fuck up. But if it is random women and it's not his friends and it's not his family, if you have told this person, hi, this makes me a little bit uncomfortable, like, I just want to let you know how it's making me feel. Can we maybe come to a conclusion on this? And if they either make you feel really fucking stupid for it and basically say you're being immature, you're being insecure, you're giving them the ick, you're not confident enough, whatever, fuck off. That's bullshit, Brian. That's your answer. Like, that's someone who is placing the importance of being able to validate random women online above their girlfriend's feelings. Is that someone that you really want to be with? No. Like, you've told them that it's bothering you, and what realistically are they gaining from liking random women's posts on Instagram? Like, I think this is often gone about in like more of a controlling way, which I don't agree with. Boundaries are for you. If one of your boundaries is liking random women's bikini pictures online makes me uncomfortable, then when someone crosses that boundary, you have a conversation with them. If nothing changes or they basically say no, you remove yourself from that situation. You don't sit and cry and beg, you don't demand, you don't make threats. You just say, okay, that's how you feel, this is a boundary of mine, I'm going to remove myself from the situation because this is really important to me. And that's what you do. That's how you deal with it. You can't like demand that someone change things. Like, they are who they are. Yeah, like, boundaries are for you. Sorry, my camera overheated again. Boundaries are for you. They're not for you to like control other people with. Like, your boyfriend can't start being like, oh, one of my boundaries is you don't post on social media. That's not a fucking boundary, okay? One of my boundaries is you don't go out with your friends. That's not a boundary, okay? Some people definitely are utilizing therapy talk to abuse people. That's not okay. You're uncomfortable with the situation. If your partner's not listening and you've raised it, I would honestly just be questioning the whole thing. Some people might say it's not that deep. I would argue the other side of it. If it's not that deep, then why don't you just stop doing it if you care that much about your partner? I just think it's a little bit strange. of a topic to be causing such a really like dragging your heels with. And if that's what they really want to do, then just let them go and do it. They can just do it on the road where they're not crossing your boundaries and consistently upsetting you. You know, remove yourself from that situation, because you deserve a lot more than that. Also, whenever I'm asked this question, and I get asked about it a lot, people always make it really clear that it is hurting their feelings. Like, you are answering your own question. Please never feel like you need someone else to validate that. Like, if your feelings are hurt, your feelings are hurt. If something's bothering you, it's bothering you. It doesn't matter whether it would bother me if I was in a relationship with that person or not. What matters is how you feel, how your relationship is, how you feel about it. It's you that's in the relationship, it's not me. Okay, so I'm actually going to leave this video here because I had a couple more questions, but my camera keeps overheating and it's getting worse and worse. So I'm gonna have to end this video here. I just wanted to say the biggest thank you, because you guys haven't been, I've been asked a few times about why me and my ex broke up on Instagram, but honestly most people have just been saying like, I hope you're okay, checking in that I'm okay, asking me about me, not prying on it, not like using it for gossip, not being weird about it, which I massively appreciate. I'm a fucking nosy Nelly, so like, you're not a terrible person if you are thinking, oh, I wonder why they broke up. But yeah, I massively appreciate how respectful people have been. You guys have been so supportive over the past, honestly, like forever. You've always been so supportive. I've been on here for 5 years now, like bang on 5 years. I think it was 5 years in July. So I just wanted to say a huge thank you for always being with me on this journey of life. You know, we've done uni together, we did COVID together, we've done a relationship together, we're now doing / done, I guess, a breakup together, we're about to do single life together. It's a journey. I feel like I'm growing up on camera in a really weird way. My god, it overheated again. I actually couldn't fucking write it. At this point I'm like, please, I just need to finish this video and get out of this freaking car. It's like a fucking hot box in here. We are doing life together, I guess. It's been honestly probably the worst first half of a year I've ever had. Everything combined, it's just been a fucking roller coaster. It's been a shit show. You guys have been so supportive, so respectful, so understanding. I couldn't ask for like a better community, and I genuinely mean it when I say that. Like, I've not felt rushed to share this news. It's been a little while now, like it's not completely fresh anymore. I've not felt rushed to share this news. I've not felt like I need to overshare. I've not felt like I'm being dishonest or holding things back, and I hope if anyone does feel that way, I hope you can understand that like, I have to deal with things privately first before I'm putting things online. Yeah, I'm starting to feel better. No one needs to be worried about me. I'm starting to feel better. Every day it gets a little bit easier. Obviously things ebb and flow, things go up and down, but I'm starting to feel better. I'm focusing on me. Anyone else that's going through a breakup, you're not on your own. I'm always here if you need to talk. You can comment below. We can make like a little breakup group below to share tips and stuff for like, I don't want to say getting over people, but like just to help you sort of heal through this period. Never feel rushed into doing anything. Never feel rushed into like feeling like you've got to put on this front, or feeling like you've got to have a major glow up immediately and get everything done. There's a huge pressure to do that online now, which I really disagree with. It just makes healing a lot harder when you feel like you need to be like this wild feral girl who's like, she's off the rails, she's gone out every single weekend, she's had this mad glow up, she's turned into a bad bitch overnight. Like, it's too much fucking pressure. Sometimes you just want to heal in peace, go to the gym, go on a few walks, do some retail therapy. Like, that's my vibe personally at the moment. Glow up pending. I'm gonna get my hair done, and I got my nails done this morning. You can't see them, but yeah, I just got a nice little nude fresh set. Sending lots of love. Again, thank you so much for how supportive and caring you guys always are. Like, I honestly couldn't ask for a better bunch of people to have on here. You've not pried at all, like I said. It's been really fucking shit recently, I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, probably the worst start to a year I've ever had, but I'm hopeful for closing out 2024 on a more positive note, throwing myself into work, picking up some more responsibilities, smashing the gym, picking up new hobbies. I went on a run the other day. I'm going to start tennis, I'm going to start hot yoga, I want to start Pilates, I want to try padel. I want to do it all. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to and you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Please comment below if you've got any questions on anything I've spoken about, or you want any advice, and I'm sure we can all chime in. But I hope you have an amazing Sunday, and I will speak to you soon. The temperature sign has just come on again. Fucking wonderful. Ugh.